A search for a killer is underway this morning after a Bradenton man was found dead on his front porch.
And gas prices are continuing to go up across the country and right here in the state of Florida. What the average price is right now is straight ahead.
And hit-and-run crash deaths are at an all-time high. How to keep your family safe on the road. Those stories plus your first alert weather. Good Morning Suncoast starts right now.
Your one Suncoast at 5.
Good morning, Friday, April 27th. Glad you're with us. I'm Ray Collins.
And I'm Stephanie Webb. Thanks for waking up with us this morning. Looks like we have a beautiful weekend on tap, John Scalzi. A little less humidity.
Yes. Yes. Now, this morning, I don't know if you noticed it or not, that the humidity kind of is up a little bit because winds have shifted just a tad. That's because we're going to watch a cold front move through the area today. Now, it's not going to lower our temperatures all that much, so don't get terribly excited. And it's really not going to even produce much in the way of a rain shower chance, but it is going to bring us some drier air. Now, satellite view is not showing much here locally. We've had a few fair weather clouds pass by during the night, but that's about it. But if you look further to the north, you can kind of make out a very thin ribbon of clouds right here. Hard to see it, but it's there. That's a cold front. That cold front sinking southward will be through here this afternoon. It is producing, a few showers way out there in the Gulf, but they're few and far between, and by the time that line gets to our neck of the woods, it's pretty much going to fall apart. So don't expect much in the way of rainfall today. I put in a 10% chance. That's mostly for coastal waters and for well inland communities. Otherwise, just expect that wind shift and some drier air to filter in. We'll talk about that weekend forecast coming up in a few.
All right, talk to you then. Thank you, John. Checking the roads. So far, so good in Manatee County. No red to report so far today. Checking farther south into the upper half of Sarasota County. There we go. A little blip there on 301 north to bound as you leave Fruitville and head up toward University. Otherwise, pretty clear. And then checking our final maps for the south and our South County region. Not much to report. We'll check back in 15 minutes here on ABC 7.
Well, this morning a manhunt is underway after a Bradenton man was found dead on his front porch. It happened at a home on 45th Street Court East in Bradenton. Now, deputies say a neighbor was driving to work when he noticed 62-year-old Robert McCarthy's front door was open. He stopped to take a look inside and ended up finding McCarthy dead. Deputies say there is obvious trauma to his body, ruling his death a homicide.
Develop this case right now, so really we don't have a person of interest right now. We need anyone that may have seen something suspicious in this neighborhood early this morning to give us a call.
Deputies say the community is not in any danger and that McCarthy appears to have been targeted.
Some disturbing news from AAA. Hit-and-run crash fatalities have reached a nationwide high. In 2016, hit-and-run crashes caused more than 2,000 deaths. The majority of those killed were bicyclists or pedestrians. Now, AAA is urging drivers to stay alert and never leave a crash scene, which is illegal regardless of who caused the accident.
Well, we are all feeling a little pain at the pump right now. Gas prices are on the rise just in time for that summer travel.
Marla Spence has details live from the local gas station in Sarasota. Marla, good morning.
Good morning, guys. If you think allergies are the only thing flaring up this spring, well, think again. So are gas prices. If you pulled up to a pump and thought it was a little more than it was a month ago, you're not delusional. According to AAA, the average gas price for the state is $2.74. Last month, the average price for gas was $2.58. According to AAA, Florida has the highest gas price in the South. Just last week, President Donald Trump criticized the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries for going up on oil prices. And gas prices will continue to go up throughout the summer, and more people will be hitting the roads for summer travel. Sometimes this could lead to scammers looking to get what's in your pockets through gas skimmers. Coming up at 5:30, we're going to be telling you what Sarasota Police Department is doing to cut back on that. Reporting live in Sarasota, I'm Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Thank you, Marla. Well, one dangerous intersection will hopefully soon be safer thanks to a big push from people that live in Lakewood Ranch. A petition is making its way around to add stop signs to the intersection of Balmoral Woods Boulevard and Lakewood Ranch Boulevard. Residents there said there have been so many close calls at that intersection, especially over the last 2 years. More than 800 people in the area have now signed a petition to add those stop signs, and there's hope that eventually a traffic light or even a roundabout could be added in the future as a long-term solution.
The issue is the problem that folks have in negotiating getting out onto Lakewood Ranch Boulevard, taking a left-hand turn, which has to encompass going a pretty good distance with 2 lanes of traffic coming both ways.
There's no question that additional signage always helps. We never want to go overboard. We do not want to take the driver's eyes away from the roadway, but the bottom line is additional signage is always good when it is in the appropriate place.
Now, that petition will be brought to the Manatee County Commissioners at their meeting coming up on May the 8th.
Speaking of traffic, attention now also on 2 busy stretches of road on US 41 in Manatee County. FDOT wants to make changes to US 41 from 69th to 63rd Avenue West and from 53rd Avenue West to Cortez Road. The plans include adding new sidewalks along both sides of US 41, as well as lighting and signal improvements.
All right, well, plant a tree and save the planet. Here's a live look from Eastwood Park right in Sarasota, where later on today, Sarasota, aka Tree City, USA Today, will continue its long-standing tradition of celebrating Arbor Day with a tree planting ceremony. It's going to be taking place this morning at 9 o'clock right here at Eastwood Park. A southern magnolia tree is going to be the one that's going to be planted during that ceremony. This is the 32nd year that the Arbor Day Foundation has recognized the city of Sarasota as Tree City, USA.
Meantime, Sarasota County will also celebrate National Arbor Day with a tree giveaway. This is part of a tree juvenation program. Residents can receive a longleaf pine sapling today or tomorrow from 10 a.m. till noon at the Sarasota County Extension, also Northport Library and the LC Quick Library. To qualify, you must show proof you live in Sarasota County, 1 per household while supplies last.
Happening today, another edition of Tweet from the Beat with the Sarasota Police, but this one is more like Tweet from the Boat because you can virtually ride along today with the Marine Patrol. It kicks off this morning at 9 o'clock. You're going to head out into the open water with Patrol. You can follow along right there on Twitter. The handle to follow is Sarasota PD. I like the toast of this one. I might just follow along just so I can, virtually pretend I'm in a boat while still in the office.
You like saying tweet from the boat.
I like saying tweet from the boat.
Very clever. Still ahead, first alert traffic on the ground and also reaction to the former America's TV dad being found guilty of all counts in a sexual assault trial.
And coming up a little later in the hour, some of those crooks, they've got your gas pumps in sight as the latest wave of card skimming scams increases. What you need to do to prevent skimmers from scamming your family. We'll have that later on.
We like to show you live shots from around the country, around the world, from outer space. This is a foggy-looking downtown Atlanta. Ferris wheel still lit up, though. Not that much fog in this area, John Scalzi.
Yeah, no, everything looks pretty good around here, actually. It's a little bit more humid, though. You'll notice that. And we do have a temperature that'll be warmer by 7 a.m. than it was 24 hours ago by about 5 degrees, 68 degrees, 78 degrees by noon. By 3 p.m., 79 degrees, and I put in a 10% chance of showers. It's probably generous. I don't think we'll even see that, to tell you the truth. Forecast for today calls for a nice commute. We'll look for temperatures across the region that are generally hugging the 70s near the coast, hugging the upper 60s inland. We'll have forecast in a second.
That is a pretty good breakfast. You're not even eating.
Not hungry.
No? Why not? What's up?
Kath and I knew that Jenny had been partying a bit. Found out she tried heroin.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
A promise was made, a promise that hit the beaches of Normandy, a vow that captured Iwo Jima, a contract that weathered Tet, a pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq, an IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar, A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
It's been about a month, and I can honestly say I've seen the change in me. I went from being a depressed girl who didn't want help to this happy, caring girl who loves helping other people. I just really hope that people that went through what I went through get the help that they need, because their story is important and they are loved. Thank you so much for everything.
Coast Guard, we are taking on water.
The United States Coast Guard. They secure our ports and waterways, protect our environment, keep drugs away from our kids, and save lives. It's dangerous work. And in times of triumph or tragedy, the Coast Guard Foundation answers the call to support Coast Guard members and their families. Learn more at coastguardfoundation.org.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So we're at a temperature that's a little bit warmer than it was 24 hours ago. We're at 73 degrees. Dew point value comes in at 67. Now, yesterday's dew point, you may even remember, we started the morning off with dew points in the 50s, and then we climbed up into the 60s, and now we're solidly in the upper 60s, which for a lot of folks, it's starting to feel just that little bit more muggy out there. And the reason is we have a southerly component to our wind. Southwest now, coming in at about 8. That southwesterly wind will continue throughout the morning hours into the early afternoon before we start to see a switch in those winds as a frontal boundary sinks its way southward. 66 in Parrish, Bradenton, Lakewood Ranch coming in at 68, 73 in Sarasota, 74 Lakewood Ranch, 72 in Venice, Inglewood coming in at 72 as well, 68 degrees in Northport, 63 in Punta Gorda. This represents about, as I mentioned, a 7-8 degrees increase in temperature over 24 hours near the coastline. Inland, still an increase in temperature, but not quite as much, coming in at about a 4 or 5 plus temperature increase. So as we head through the afternoon, I don't think we'll see the temperatures get all that cooler, despite the fact that we have a cold front moving through. But we will notice a shift in the winds that'll bring down some drier air. So here's what we've got, 68 degrees by around 7 a.m. I think we'll lose a degree or two off our current temperature. 78 degrees by 12 noon. Then by 3 p.m. we'll be looking at 79. Still a lot of sunshine around. We might see a few more clouds around the 3 p.m. time. That's about the time the cold front will be moving through. Put in about a 10% chance, if that, of a shower that's mostly going to be out in Gulf waters, and it's mostly going to be in inland areas perhaps. And then a 75 temperature as we get into 7 p.m. and by that time I think you will have noticed that little bit of a wind shift and a little bit of drier air moving through. So there is the low pressure center moving up the northeastern coastline, and that's going to produce some inclement weather around the D.C. area today, then on up into New York City this afternoon. So if you're traveling to that corridor, you know, it's going to be raining there. A frontal boundary extends down into Gulf waters, and that frontal boundary moves through. A second front will come through on Sunday, but you'll hardly notice that one. The first front, this one here, will produce, as I mentioned, very little rainfall for us, despite the fact that it will shift our winds and bring us that lower humidity air. So, mostly sunny, dry today, higher humidity, that's noticeable this morning, but The wind shift will bring in the drier air right straight through the weekend. So even though we don't lose much in the way of a temperature, we still have that beautiful dry weather right straight through the weekend. Sunny conditions as well. Should be a great weekend. So why no rain? There's why. This is the water vapor imagery. Dry air indicated by tan contours at mid and upper level. It's too dry to rain, basically. That's the story. We have a little bit of cloud cover. We're squeaking out a shower or two from very low-topped clouds, and that's it. As the front sinks southward, we'll watch a chance, perhaps, of thunderstorms, and that's just thunderstorms, nothing severe, over on the other coast as we get kind of a sea breeze interaction with that wind that's generally going to be off the west. But it's not going to produce any thunderstorm activity in our neck of the woods at all. In fact, as I mentioned, we'll be lucky to see even the appreciable rainfall. Saturday, Sunday, both look rain-free across the entire state. So the forecast looks like this: a southwest wind shifting to the northwest at 10 to 15, becoming northwest at 10 to 15, southwest at 15 later tonight. So winds picking up just a little, light chop building to a moderate chop. Okay, here's your forecast for the week ahead. Looks like this: 10% chance of an inland shower, 79 degrees. As we head into tomorrow, 80 degrees, plenty of sunshine on Sunday. Low relative humidity. Looks like a beautiful weekend. As we head into the week ahead, we've got temperatures that will continue to rise as we head into the work week. Back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Let's take a look outside your first alert traffic out there this morning. The roads are looking actually pretty decent right now. If you're getting ready to leave the house in the next few minutes at Manatee County, your commute will be pretty much a smooth one. If you're going into Sarasota County, let's take a look at that map real quick. That's actually looking pretty decent too. Do have one little hot spot right there on Fruitville, almost to the intersection of 41. That's starting to get a little congested already. A little bit farther south into the area, and those roads are looking pretty decent out there this morning if you're headed southbound. If you leave in the next half an hour or so, your commute will be a pretty easy one as well. It is 5:16, and that is your first alert traffic. Well, it was a stunning fall from grace for actor and comedian Bill Cosby. The man once known as America's Dad is now a convicted felon.
The jury found him guilty on all 3 counts of indecent aggravated assault. ABC's Maggie Rulli has the latest.
Bill Cosby walked out of the courthouse Thursday afternoon a guilty man. A very different scene for Andrea Constant, seen here with a huge smile, hugging supporters. Other Cosby accusers were coming out of court in tears.
This jury has shown that what the Me Too movement has saying is that women are worthy of being believed.
A jury of 12 deciding unanimously that the 80-year-old comedian drugged and sexually assaulted Constant at his Pennsylvania home in 2004.
She was that first courageous person that stood up in public to go to the authorities and say that Bill Cosby drugged and sexually assaulted her.
Finding him guilty on all 3 counts of aggravated indecent assault.
Oh my God, unbelievable, unbelievable.
Upon hearing the first guilty verdict, Cosby simply put his head down. Later, when the district attorney argued Cosby should not get bail because he could flee on his plane, Cosby lashed out, yelling, "He doesn't have a plane, you expletive." His lawyers say they will appeal.
We are very disappointed by the verdict. We don't think Mr. Cosby is guilty of anything, and the fight is not over.
But for now, the comedian once loved by so many as Dr. Huxtable, Fat Albert, and the face of Jell-O pudding is a convicted felon. Cosby was released on bail and is now at home on house arrest, where he'll remain until his sentencing hearing, likely in 3 to 4 months. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, Norristown, Pennsylvania.
All right, I think there's a lot of us out there that grew up watching the Huxtables on television and Fat Albert back in the day, and you're trying to reconcile yesterday's verdict with like, oh, it's so different than we had growing up.
There's been so many people like that the past few months at different levels. Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast.
Are you an Amazon Prime customer? If so, your annual membership price is getting ready to go up. We're going to tell you just how much.
And the cost of having babies, not cheap. What experts say you could do to get ahead financially. We showed you Atlanta. Now here's a live shot of Manhattan, where it's 56 degrees today there, and we're going to see plenty of clouds and rain midday.
Yes, but still a little bit better than the temperatures have been in 30s and 40s. So starting to see a warm up on that East Coast.
Yeah, they've had a slow spring. 5:19 right now. We should see a high of 79 degrees today. Currently 73 already. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 70.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
Stay connected to your clients and new customers using ABC7 Digital Media Services. Our team of professionals provide a wide array of digital services to help you get the most out of your website. We specialize in building and helping you maintain the most effective digital solutions for your business. It's vital that your online presence stands out, so our experts will equip you with the best resources available. Trust ABC7 Digital Media Services to give you the right tools to grow your business.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
There's a live shot out our window, a little darker than usual there right now. The Rosemary District, again, it's 73 degrees already this morning. That's pretty mild for this hour of the day.
It's going to be beautiful out there. Nice. We've got a nice weekend ahead, a little bit lower humidity, so it's going to be a nice couple of days. 5:21 on this Friday morning. Looking ahead to the weekend, an event to inform parents about opioids and how they're affecting local teenagers. Tomorrow will be the inaugural Parent Education Summit, where the Community AIDS Network will talk about the dangers of opioids, important risk factors as well, and prevention. Parents are encouraged to bring kids ages 11 to 17. The kids will have their own separate session where they'll discuss the effects of peer pressure, refusal, and also negotiation skills. Well, sure, our kids are a blessing, but they're also more financial responsibility. And the rising costs of health care include pregnancy and childbirth. And it's no secret childbirth costs vary by hospital and by state. And if you have any kind of complications, that, of course, can add thousands to your bill. The financial website nerdwallet.com just released some numbers on how much it costs to have a baby. Now, the average cost for both delivery and care for a mom and baby was just over $13,000 here in the U.S. Now, the key, of course, is to plan, plan, plan.
If you do not plan, you're going to end up going into debt to make all of those things happen. And that's the worst thing that you can do financially.
Experts say that you need to figure out what you really need for a nursery. Make it certain that it's something that you need. Put everything you can on your registry so that friends and family, of course, can help out.
This summer, college students can get into Adventure Island for only $25. The theme park is giving students with a valid ID 50% off the entrance fee in Tampa. Adventure Island is a 30-acre water park on Bush Boulevard, and the discount is available until the end of May.
And speaking of discounts, golfers can save some green on their green fees this summer. The Bobby Jones Golf Club is offering a huge summer bargain. Starting on Tuesday, May 1st, golfers can sign up for the Summer Loyalty Club and pay one flat fee, which allows you to then play as much as you want all the way through October 31st. Now, that flat fee is $295. It includes green fees as well at the city-owned course in Sarasota.
Big meeting next month at Sarasota City Hall about the future of Bobby Jones. City-owned golf course losing money every year.
All right, maybe this is one thing that could get a little bit more people out on those greens.
Should help, yes.
All right, well, sure, the perks are great, but the annual price of membership for Amazon Prime is going up.
Here are today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, get ready to pay more for Amazon Prime.
The price of an annual membership jumps $20 next month, up to $119. Amazon blames the increase on higher costs. The Prime price hike hits new subscribers first. Renewals won't be affected until June. And Amazon has renewed its exclusive partnership with the NFL.
So Amazon Prime Video is paying the league $130 million to continue streaming Thursday night games for the next 2 seasons. The NFL says Prime offers a massive platform for fans in the U.S. and around the world. And finally, take 2 for Snapchat's Spectacles.
The first version started strong, then flopped, so Snap is trying again. The new shades not only take extended videos, they also take still photos. They're waterproof and said to be more comfortable, but they also have an updated price tag, $149.
And those are your Tech Bites.
Have a great day.
Tech Bites, sponsored by Downy.
Oh, sorry I'm late, sir. Had a doctor's appointment.
When you said you were at the doctor, but your shirt says you were at a steakhouse, that's when you know. It's half washed. Now from Downy Fabric Conditioner comes Downy Odor Protect with 24-hour odor protection. Downy's powerful formula conditions fibers to lock out odors all day.
Hey, your shirt's making me hungry.
Oh, haha, Derek.
Downy, and it's done.
It's springtime and we're buying coats?
Burlington has everything.
I came here for a skirt.
Sandals.
Great shirts.
For the home. Beautiful handbags. Getting organized.
All the great brands at a fraction of the cost.
Burlington, without Coat Factory. I get it.
As an engineer, I know how to keep complex systems running like clockwork.
Dulcolax, the constipation expert, provides dependable, effective relief without anybody else noticing. Find your solution from a range of products that fit your needs. Dulcolax, the science of going.
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. Dietary Guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind your meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator. There was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs. Stop the crimes.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Get breaking news, plus first alert, weather, and traffic focused on where you live. Watch Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7, weekdays starting at 5.
For the first time in 65 years, a North Korean leader is hand in hand with a sworn enemy. What this means for the rest of the world.
Summer is around the corner, meaning more travelers will be on the roads. And this means more scammers will be out trying to get what's in your pockets when you head to the pumps. What Sarasota County police are doing to eliminate skimmers across the Suncoast is straight ahead.
And what Florida voters will soon be able to decide that would impact gamblers. That story and your weekend forecast next on Good Morning Suncoast.
You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5:30.
Good morning, and thanks for waking up with us this morning on Good Morning Suncoast. Folks, we have made it to Friday. I'm Stephanie Webb.
I'm Ray Collins. Already 73 mild degrees out there, John Scalzi.
Yeah, it's warmer, and it feels more muggy, too. I don't know if you noticed that. You did, yeah. Humidity has increased because the winds have shifted a little more southerly in advance of a frontal boundary, now located just to our north. We've had a few passing clouds. Nice, big, beautiful moon out there right now. You can see a few of those clouds kind of pass by the moon from time to time. Catch it before the moon sets, which will be any minute now. As we get into the afternoon, a frontal boundary located to the north and kind of visible on satellite here as a thin ribbon of clouds out in the Gulf. It's hard to even make it out, but can you see it right there? That's the frontal boundary, and it's sinking southward. It'll be through here probably around 3, 4 o'clock this afternoon. And the few scattered showers that it is currently producing will probably be even fewer and farther between as we head into the later afternoon hours. Local temperatures are, as we mentioned, a little bit warmer today, coming in the lower 70s close to the coastline, mid 60s as you move a little further inland. We'll probably lose a degree or 2 off those temperatures before dawn breaks and we start to warm. So we'll go with a daytime high today that tops out very similar to yesterday at about 79, but we're only going to put in a 10% chance of showers, and really that chance is for in the Gulf waters and well inland. Most of us will not see any rainfall at all today. A beautiful weekend shaping up, though. Talk about that in a second.
All right, looking forward to that conversation. Checking the roads, 301 northbound, some congestion there as you get past Talavast and Whitfield and head towards State Road 70. Otherwise, pretty clear in Manatee County so far today. Checking the northern half of Sarasota County, nothing much to speak of so far, and that's good news. And then the southern half of Sarasota County and the northern half of Charlotte County, one little blip there on 41 southbound as you pass through the Northport area.
Well, gas prices are on the rise, and they are going to continue to go up throughout the summer, just in time for all those summer vacations.
And it's also a time where more scammers are trying to take advantage of us with our credit cards at the pump. Marla Spence has details from one Sarasota gas station. Marla?
Good morning, guys. Gas prices are continuing to increase, but that isn't stopping drivers from filling up their tanks. According to the Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services, holidays and summers are usually the times when more skimmers are at gas pumps. So here's how you can avoid becoming a victim. When you head out to the gas pumps, make sure your gas dispenser cabinet is closed and not tampered with. Sometimes you'll see a sticker on it. Also, when it comes to using the gas pump, use a gas pump nearest to the front of the store. Oftentimes thieves will not place skimmers closer to the stores. They'll use the gas pumps farther behind. And then when it comes to using your debit card, make sure instead of using that, you'll use a credit card. Now when you go ahead and swipe, make sure that you are not using your PIN. Oftentimes when you're at the gas pumps, using your PIN can leave you being a victim of scammers and skimmers here at the gas pump. And then lastly, make sure you monitor your bank account. So far, Sarasota County, Sarasota police are doing what they can to make sure they eliminate skimmers on the Suncoast. Just recently, they went across several gas stations on the Suncoast, more than 17, and they checked out each pump to make sure there were not any skimmers. Luckily, there weren't any on the Suncoast, and this is something that they're continuing to do all year long. Reporting live in Sarasota, I'm Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, thanks, Marla. We, of course, will have all those tips at mysuncoast.com as well. Well, for the first time in 65 years, a leader of North Korea has stepped into the demilitarized zone and has shook hands with a, quote, sworn enemy, the leader of South Korea.
ABC's Tara Palmieri has details of this historic summit.
A historic step forward. The leader of North Korea crossing the border into South Korea for the first time in 60 years. Since the Korean War, the two countries have been locked in tensions, often on the brink of war. But now the two leaders are holding hands, walking forward into the south, greeted by cheers. And then, unexpectedly, walking back into the north to even more applause. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and South Korean leader Moon Jae-in talking about future peace. The South's invite to the North to take part in the Seoul Olympics was one of the first steps forward to normalizing relations. The summit, focused on denuclearization of North Korea, will lay the groundwork for President Trump's meeting in the coming months. Earlier this week, President Trump lavished praise on Kim.
He really has been very open and I think very honorable from everything we're seeing.
Past peace talks have failed because of a lack of commitment from Kim's predecessors. Kim said he was ready for, quote, heartfelt, sincere, and honest talks, adding that he wanted, quote, momentum so they don't repeat the past. Kim, writing in a guest book, new history starts from now. Over Easter weekend, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, then CIA director, secretly met with North Korean leaders and unexpectedly had a meeting with Kim Jong-un. Trump on Fox News saying the White House would release photos of the meeting.
It was more than a hello. They got along. They were with each other for, more than an hour.
The parents of American college student Otto Warmbier announced that they are suing the North Korean government for torturing and killing their son. They're accusing Kim of holding him hostage to have leverage over the U.S. on sanctions. Tara Palmieri, ABC News, Washington.
Former NBC Nightly News anchor Tom Brokaw, the latest to deny allegations of sexual harassment. The Washington Post and Variety magazine both report the former NBC News anchor, or news correspondent, Linda Vester, alleges that Brokaw tried to force her to kiss him on 2 separate occasions more than 20 years ago. Vester also told Variety that Brokaw once groped her and showed up at her hotel room uninvited. Now, in a statement, Brokaw says he only had 2 brief meetings with Vester to discuss career advice, adding that he never made what he called, quote, romantic overtures toward her.
We're learning more now about the man suspected of the Waffle House shooting spree last weekend. A woman says that Travis Ranking threatened her family earlier in the year at a motel. This is body cam footage of the encounter an officer had with Ranking on February 23rd. Now, a Samantha Veal says that Ranking verbally assaulted her after she told him to be quiet. She says he then charged toward her and followed her toward her room. She says that Ranking laughed and then walked out. She didn't press charges and he was not arrested.
Well, the word hero might not be strong enough for James Shaw Jr. Hours after he grabbed a rifle from a man that had opened fire at a Tennessee Waffle House, Shaw started a fundraiser for the families of the victims of that day. Now, as of this morning, almost $171,000 has now been donated. That's more than 11 times the original goal. The 29-year-old was inside the restaurant when the gunman entered. When there was a lull in the shooting, Shaw ambushed the gunman, who eventually left the scene. Now, that suspect, as we mentioned earlier, Travis Ranking, was captured about a day and a half later. He, of course, is now facing 4 counts of criminal homicide. Well, should gambling be expanded here in Florida? Lawmakers want you to make that call now. Legislative leaders say they can't agree on how to update gambling laws, and so they will not hold a special session. Last month, top Republicans started holding some private talks about the state's current deal with the Seminole Tribe of Florida, which operates multiple casinos in the state. Tribal officials recently agreed to keep paying the state until May of 2019. Now, lawmakers went back and forth on that current agreement, as well as who should have the power to decide if slot machines can be introduced to certain casinos. So now that decision will be up to you. It will be on the ballot.
Hours after Senate confirmation, the new U.S. Secretary of State is already overseas at a meeting. Mike Pompeo went straight to a meeting of European allies in Belgium. Earlier in the day, the Senate approved his nomination as Secretary of State. The former CIA director is now the nation's top diplomat. He takes the job at a time when several high-stakes negotiations are underway around the world.
Wow, switching gears to football, sweet football. The NFL draft kicked off yesterday. Now, the Bucs originally had the 7th pick overall, but they actually traded with the Bills for 2 second-round picks. So here are the top 5 picks in last night's big NFL draft. Now, the Cleveland Browns, they kind of are number 1 right now because they took the Heisman Trophy winner, Baker Mayfield, with the number 1 overall pick, and Denzel Ward from Ohio State as the number 4 pick. Now, the New York Giants, they took Saquon Barkley from Penn State at number 2. The Jets took Sam Darnold from Southern California, and the Broncos, they picked up Bradley Chubb. He was the defensive end from North Carolina State. The draft continues today. Did I mention football? Sweet football.
I love that you love football.
I do. I love it so much. I'm counting down. Preseason starts in just a couple of months, folks. Let's do this.
Let's see if the Cleveland Browns can win a game this year.
Right. Also, my Detroit Lions.
And my former Buffalo Bills. 5:39 right now, still ahead. The latest in First Alert traffic
And despite what it may seem, ADHD can develop in young girls as well. Some of the symptoms that you should look out for will happen.
Here's a live shot of the White House in Washington, where the administration now has a new Secretary of State, who, as you just heard, is promptly overseas already at a meeting of NATO allies in Belgium. That's the scene there. Let's get the forecast here from the expert, John Scalzi.
It looks pretty good for us today. We do have a cold front coming through, but despite that cold front, it doesn't create any weather for us. In fact, all of our inclement weather boxes unchecked today. Drive time forecast looks great. It'll be low 70s heading out the door, mid 70s on the way back. Plenty of sunshine and just a few clouds is about the worst you'll see. All airport hubs serving the Sarasota-Bradenton International running on time according to the FAA. Forecast in a second.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Feeling all right? Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery? Sure. We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
My name is Julius. I have cerebral palsy. I work for Farmer Jaffe Weising Law Firm. I do a lot of data entry and scanning documents. I want to increase my working experience to make the company much better. At the end of the day, it's good to think of the day's work and to think about what I have accomplished.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
When ABC7 declares a First Alert Weather Day, it means we can expect major changes to weather conditions here along the Suncoast.
It means there could be severe, potentially dangerous weather ahead.
We tell you when a First Alert Weather Day is coming because we want you to be prepared.
A First Alert Weather Day is an advance warning. We'll let you know about any changes in the weather when the first signs appear.
ABC7 First Alert Weather. We're here for you.
Selfless service is the principle that guides Army National Guard soldiers to be ready whenever disaster strikes. They have a stake in the well-being of the neighborhoods where they live and work. They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times. Selfless service. It's what inspires the men and women of the Army National Guard to be part of something greater than themselves. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more.
Want the latest weather and traffic conditions wherever you go? Introducing ABC7's revolutionary new First Alert Weather app. With our state-of-the-art new weather app, you get up-to-the-minute weather alerts, interactive radar maps, current conditions, 10-day forecasts.
This is a required monthly test of the Emergency Alert System. Had this been an actual emergency or dangerous situation, official messages and directions would have followed the alert tone. This test is brought to you by the Florida Division of Emergency Management, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and your local broadcast station or cable provider. This concludes the required monthly test.
73 degrees, the air temperature. It's muggy out there. Dew point value coming in now close to the 70 mark at 67. feels a little bit on the humid and sticky side out there. We've had a few passing clouds overnight, but no rainfall. We have a wind that's out of the south, or at least a component of it out of the southwest, coming in now at about 8. That's the reason for that increase in our dew point value. As we head into the afternoon, I think we'll continue on with this southerly wind flow, which we're seeing everywhere at all stations in northern parts of the viewing area, as well as southern parts of the viewing area. Nothing there will change. That will keep our temperatures running anywhere from 7 to 4 or 5 degrees above where they were 24 hours ago at that same hour, at this same hour in particular. But as we head through the morning, I think we'll stay above where we were 24 hours ago. That will not be true tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, I think we'll see these temperatures drop down just a little bit because of the drier air that will be filtering in. So we'll look for 72 degrees by around 9 a.m., 78 degrees by 12 noon, plenty of sunshine around, maybe a few more fair weather clouds as we head in the time period between 12 and 3. 10% chance, that's it, of a rain shower. And really, most of those rain showers, if we see any at all, are going to be in the Gulf waters, near shore, but in the Gulf waters. And then inland, well inland, Hardee, DeSoto counties, and probably extreme eastern parts of those counties. So most of us are not going to see any rainfall at all today. Then as we head into the 7 p.m. hour, should be nice, should be a beautiful evening, maybe a little breezy out there as winds pick up just a little bit. But other than that, it should be dry, should be lower humidity, should be a very, very nice, pleasant evening. Winds out of the south, as I mentioned, temperatures generally in the 70s, close to the 70s, near the coastline, into the 60s, a little bit further inland. We'll get up to temperatures that'll be pretty close to the 80-degree mark by 12 noon, 1 o'clock, and inland temperatures will probably crack the 80 mark. A few scattered showers out in the Gulf, perhaps, maybe a shower or two inland as we head into the afternoon. And then we'll watch that wind shift out of the north and that drier air filter in, which will lead to an absolutely beautiful weekend. In fact, over the weekend, Saturday, I don't think we'll see a drop of rain anywhere across any part of the state of Florida. So across the United States today, things are pretty quiet. We do have this area of low pressure that's kind of riding up the New England coastline later today. Anywhere from Washington to New York, showers through the first half of the day, then tomorrow on up into New England. A second shot of reinforcing dry air comes our way on Sunday with this cold front, but you'll hardly notice it. Our cold front today sinks south, clears the state, high pressure builds in, and the weekend looks great. Here's your forecast for today. Boaters, winds might pick up a little bit. Watch for that northwest wind at about 5 to 10. And the forecast for the week ahead, well, the first 3 days are going to be exquisite. Today, that slight 10% chance of a shower. You know, I'm not worried about that at all. 79 the temperature. Tomorrow, 80. Plenty of sunshine, low relative humidity. Same thing on Sunday. Now, after we get through Sunday into next work week, we'll start to watch those temperatures begin to climb. And they'll be warm all next week, but dry. Back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Let's take a look outside to your first alert traffic. The roads aren't too bad right now. We're starting to see some slowdowns right there on 301 as you pass by State Road 70, going in both of those directions. If you're heading into Sarasota County this morning, those aren't looking too bad just yet. We do have some slowdowns right there on University Parkway, but other than that, not too much traffic going on. Little something right there on Bee Ridge as you're almost closing in on 301. But other than that, not too much even in that area. Now, if your commute is going to be taking you a little bit farther south in the area, those roads are looking great. If you're heading to Port Charlotte or Punta Gorda this morning, your commute will be pretty easy if you leave within the next half an hour or so. And this, of course, is a live look from Eastwood Park later on today. Plant a tree, help save the planet. And of course, Sarasota is Tree City, USA, and they're going to be continuing their long-standing tradition of celebrating Arbor Day with a tree planting ceremony. It all takes place this morning at 9 o'clock right there at the park. A southern magnolia tree is going to be planted during the ceremony. And now this is the 32nd year that the Arbor Day Foundation has recognized the city of Sarasota as Tree City, USA.
There's also a tree giveaway in Sarasota County at 3 locations, the Sarasota Extension on Clark Road and also the libraries in Northport and Englewood. Tree giveaways for Sarasota County residents.
All right. Well, switching gears. When it comes to ADHD in kids, it doesn't discriminate. Both boys and girls can have it.
But when it comes to young girls, the symptoms can be overlooked. Kim Hutcherson has today's Health Minute.
Hyperactivity, impulsivity, and inattention, the 3 main symptoms individuals with ADHD typically display. According to a clinical psychologist, boys are 3 times as likely to be diagnosed with ADHD in childhood as girls, but the rates in adults are about even. So why the disparity? ADHD can look different in girls and boys. For example, a hyperactive boy might have trouble sitting in a seat, and that may result in him being seen as unruly. A hyperactive girl, however, might take on the role of classroom helper, channeling the behavior into other activities. Because hyperactive and impulsive behaviors are more disruptive, teachers are more likely to notice boys as a problem. A few signs to look out for in young girls who may have ADHD. Their homework takes longer than it should. They may have weak reading comprehension. They struggle to make friends or read social cues. And they may start a project without finishing or following through. For today's Health Minute, I'm Kim Hutcherson.
All right, check this out. The Sarasota County Fire Department helped Venice Wildlife rescue 3 baby hawks. Ray, they were on a wing and a prayer.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, you're welcome. The department posted some of these pictures on Twitter. Very cool. Now, the hawk's mama, she was actually being treated at a local facility. She was poisoned, and without the help of these guys right here, these little hawk babies would not have been able to make it on their own. So they are doing much better these days, and they've all been reunited.
Oh, I love that story.
I do too.
All right, 5:50 right now. We'll update the day's top headlines after this right here on ABC 7.
Performing on stage takes mental and physical preparation. But one thing I never thought to prepare for was cervical cancer. 91% of cervical cancers are caused by the human papillomavirus, or HPV. The good news is there are vaccines that can protect you or your children from cancer. I survived my cancer, but you can stop cancer before it starts. Talk to your doctor and go to thinkaboutthelink.org to learn more.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish! In your face, in your face,
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard serve to give back to their country and communities. Their part-time commitment qualifies them for an array of benefits, such as affordable health and life insurance benefits, education benefits, including tuition assistance, student loan repayment and GI Bill programs, a retirement plan based on part-time service, and VA home mortgages. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about all the benefits available in the Army National Guard.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Meet Blue. Blue's not feeling well. The prescription? Generic medication. Blue wonders, do they really work as well as name brands? Yes, generics and name brand medications do work the same. Even though they may look different, generics have the same key ingredients. FDA approval is equally rigorous for generics to make sure they're as safe and effective as name brands. And Blue even saves some green, making him a little less, well, blue. Talk to your doctor about generics and visit fda.gov/generic drugs.
My goal every day when I come into work at ABC 7 is to tell your stories, give you that major local news and those details that you really care about. I'm Jacqueline Matter, and I'm here for you.
Mild start so far, 73 degrees. Should see a high of 79. Pretty picture out there right now.
That is gorgeous. It's going to be a great weekend as well. John Scalzi is going to have the forecast here in just a moment. And here are some of the headlines that we're following for you on the Suncoast today.
Hours after being confirmed as your new Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo is already overseas at a meeting of European allies. The vote in the Senate was 57-42.
Today, it's another edition of Tweet from the Beat with the Sarasota Police, but this one has a cool twist. It's a ride along with the Marine Patrol, so we're calling it Tweet from the Boat. It actually kicks off this morning at 9 o'clock. All you have to do is follow the Sarasota Police Department on Twitter.
And Sarasota County passing out free trees. In honor of Arbor Day, property owners can get longleaf pine saplings today and tomorrow at the Sarasota County Extension Office on Clark Road and the Northport and Englewood libraries as well.
And coming up next hour, a Sarasota child abuse case could be the trigger for a major law change here in our state. We're going to have that story for you next hour.
But first, one last peek at the forecast from John Scalzi.
Yeah, we keep getting good news about the pollen counts, and I'm glad to report this to you. We're looking at probably one of the lowest days I have seen in a while for our pollen count today, and the same thing holds true again tomorrow. So good news there for you pollen allergy sufferers, grasses as well. As far as the red tide goes, everything looks good. I know there'll be a lot of people out there recreating this weekend, and it looks absolutely fantastic. No red tide being reported. There'll be a full update coming in about 3 o'clock this afternoon, but it looks like it's going to be just fine. No samples from area beaches reporting any issues. And the sunset quality this evening, great. Sunny, dry, maybe a breezy, fresh wind out of the northwest, and I'll give it 4 beach balls out of 4. Back to you.
All right, good. Hey, fun event tomorrow night at the White Buffalo. It's called Dr. Idol. It's a fundraiser for the Silverstein Foundation. Doctors who actually are musicians.
I love this idea.
8 different bands tomorrow night will compete for the best band with a doctor in it.
So each band has to have a doctor in it.
Right.
I like that. It's very cool. Dr. Idol.
I'm the host, and I was the host 10 years ago when they last did it.
Nice. Ray Seacrest.
Yeah, that's me tomorrow night. Yeah, just for a moment or two. That'll be fun. We've got much more news next hour. Busy news day, and also lots to talk about in the weather as well. So talk to you soon.